Again, centerpiece for that special dinner party, why not try the melon swan? Now the first thing you want to do is naturally cut a little slice from the bottom to give it that stability. Take your magic marker and draw out the swan. Now take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Draw it out. Try to make it as nice as you can. Let's go around. There's your head. There's the neck. Come right around the outside. Bring that up. And this will be your wings. Do the same thing on the other side. Now when you bring your wings down, you can outline the feathers exactly how you're going to put it in there. And do the other side. Now, this is just a guide. Bring it around. Come up the back. Now, let's just bring it up and put all the feathers in it. There's the tail feathers. Now, take the paring knife and form the head. Now bring it all the way around. A nice quick motion. Make sure you bring that up. That starts the wing. Now we're going to come around and go to the bottom of the neck. Now bring it around. There's the top of the wing. Now you can see where we started this. Just bring that down. Use the lines for a guide. And now we're coming into the tail. Now, don't forget, you can always use your book as a reference. Look at the pictures, the line drawings inside. It'll give you an idea. Change them around a little bit, make them a little bit different. You don't have to use all my ideas. Bring this around. Now what you want to do is take this and just come around. Bring this out in a few different sections. Now before you take everything apart, take the knife and create the eye. If you like to take a vegetable peeler, go right across it. Clean it up. Sometimes this is nice to do before you take all the pieces apart. Gives that a little different look to it. And then you can take the sections out. After not, make sure everything's attached. Same thing, take that peeler. Remove all the lines that you've just put on. You can see how nice it's starting to shape up. Take the paring knife and start trimming it out around the head and the neck, around the wings. Remove all the excess. For an eye, I like to use a clove. Just place it in like that. Just trim this out. Now you can take a melon baller. Take all these pieces out. You can see how nice it's starting to shape up. You want to give it a lot of color. So what I like to do is I like to take strawberries. Use strawberries as a filler. Just remove all these seeds out of here. Take them, just place them right inside. This will give it lots of color. Fill it all the way up. Your guests will be taking all these strawberries out of here anyhow. Now you want to take that, put that on a bed of greens, and that's always an elegant centerpiece for any party. Let me show you how to transform an ordinary vegetable into a rose. Now, I like to use turnips, but you can use any hardcore vegetable. Turnips, carrots, beets. Now, there's 2 steps involved when you make the rose. Step number 1, make petals all the way around the outside. If your vegetable is at room temperature, it's a lot easier to work with. Cold vegetables are very brittle. Step number 2, take that knife and just cut a ring out right behind those petals. Now, if you notice, I hold that knife very close to the point. This way it does give it a lot of control. And I like to pull the vegetable right into the knife. Step number 2, take that knife and just cut another set of petals in between each petal. And go right behind it. Now, if you do this with a potato and it comes out real nice, you can wrap it in aluminum foil and bake it. If it doesn't come out so nice, that evening you have mashed potatoes. No one will know you were practicing. Now, after 3 weeks of mashed potatoes, they'll start to get suspicious. But by then, you should have it mastered. Now, you can make these up a day ahead of time, put them in a bowl of water, leave them in the refrigerator, and the petals will actually start to open up a lot further. Now, you can get real clever with that, and just take a sliver from a beet. Take it and just wipe it right over the edges. And girls, if you're going out on a kinky date, you can wear it as a corsage. If he doesn't take you out to dinner, at least you have something to nibble on. Now take this and just put this right into a nice center plate. There's your beets and there's your turnips. Use these roses around the roast or a turkey dinner. Strip roses can be created from either tomatoes or your citrus fruit. Cut a flat area on the bottom. Swing it around. Now, use a nice, easy sewing motion. Just keep bringing it around. Now, try to make it as thin as you can. Lay that out. Now, when you do it and it's too thick, take your paring knife, just take some of the insides out. Cut some of that meat out. Take it, roll it right up. Now, if it starts to come apart on you, take a toothpick and just place it right through the bottom. And there's your rose. With an orange, just go right across the bottom and create that long strip. Do this with when your lemons for a fish dinner. Take it, roll it up. Just hold that together. No one will see that toothpick in there. There's your strip roses. Let's create a bouquet of radish roses. Now, to create the bouquet, I like to use a potato for a base. Just cut a flat on it. A little bit of greens. Now, as we make our bouquet, these are some pieces that we've made ahead of time. We had them in some water. You can see how nicely it opened up. We'll put toothpicks on the bottom, and we'll fill this whole thing up with all the different radish roses and flowers. Now, The tool that I used previously, the food decorator, I'm going to make a flower out of it using that decorator. Now I like to take that piece right off the top, take it and just go right down the sides. Go all the way around. Now you can make these up way ahead of time, shapes the petals, forms the petals, and what we'll do is just put a little toothpick in here and just put that in like that. Now you can create a propeller look basically the same way, but just taking it and putting it on an angle. Just bring it all the way around like this. You can have the kids work on this. You can make these up a day ahead of time. And there's a propeller effect. And we'll put that right in our bouquet. And it's starting to shape up. Create a radish fan by taking that paring knife and just cutting slices right across the radish. Turn it over, go in the opposite direction. Give it a little squeeze. You can put this in some ice water and it'll actually open up quite a bit further. Now, if you want to make a star, take your paring knife, just cut a wedge right in the center, and go in the opposite direction and cut another wedge, make a little star, put a toothpick in there, place that right into the bouquet. Now to make that mum out of the radish, go in one direction, turn it over, go in the opposite direction, and just keep going in the opposite directions. You're making all these small little segments in there. You could put that in some ice water. You can see we made some previously and see how nicely they opened up. Now the last one I want to do is make a little rose for you, and this rose is basically done the same way we did it with the radish, with the turnips. You make your petals on the outside and just cut a little piece right behind it. Naturally, you won't get as many rows out of the radish as we did out of the turnip. And you could just make another couple cuts out of it. Makes a little flower. And there's your little bouquet. And that's always nice just to put on top on a dinner table. Create a brilliant centerpiece with colorful onion mums. Now, onions are made in layers. They're grown that way. That's the nature of the beast. Cut a slice off the top. Now you have all the layers in there. Take the paring knife, start right in the center and just go down. Now be very careful, don't go too far down, otherwise it'll start to fall apart. Take the knife and just cut a little point right on the top and just keep going around. Now you can use the lines of the onion for a guide. Now as you go along, make sure you don't get excited and go all the way down and make that onion fall apart. And just keep going. Now you can make thin petals, you can make thick petals. It all depends on the effect that you want. Now when you get back to the point where you started, put that last point on here. Now you can take this and put it in some warm water. It'll help take the acid odor out. You can use some baking soda in there if you like. It just opens up, most of the time it opens up by itself, just in the room temperature. Now take a couple toothpicks, place it right into the root end. I like to use like 3 of them in there. Now if that root end is very hard to push through, take a pair of pliers. Put that down. Now for a base to mount this, take a potato, just cut it flat. Some greens on top. Take that onion and place it in just like this. See how nice that opens up? Now you want to put some color in there. So here's what we're going to do. This is food coloring. Now the coloring I like to use the bright cake coloring paste. It comes out real nice. Now this is our red. don't be afraid to use some paper towels. Take the whole thing, just place it right inside, just move it around just a little bit, and instantly, there's your onion mum. Now you have just blot it a little bit with your paper towels, and it'll all open up as the evening goes on. And let's just place this right in the front of our bouquet. Now, just to show you some of the different colors, here's some yellow. And here's an onion mum that we created just previously. And just place it in. And there's the yellow. Now, violet is always a nice color to use. A brilliant display of color to add life to your dinner table. Red cabbage could be turned into flowers basically the same way we did with the onion mums. Now, cabbages are made in layers, so what you want to do is just go right in the center and cut down. Cut wedges all the way. Now, be careful, the same thing with the onion mums. Don't go too far down, otherwise everything will start to fall apart. Get a nice fresh head of cabbage, go all the way around, create these little leaves. Now, cabbages are all bunched in together. So what you want to do is take that, open that all up, peel everything back. Get a small container of dip. You can see how that's opening up? The bright colors inside, that red cabbage. You could take a little container, put a bowl of dip right inside the center. And all you have to do is just take pieces of the cabbage off, put it in a dip, and that makes a nice piece for your on your cocktail table. Now, the same way we created our baskets, you can use a butternut squash, make a little basket. We used a V decorator around it. You can put celery sticks, bread sticks, and that always makes, you can make a little bit of designs on it if you like. And that creates a nice festive atmosphere when you have your cocktail parties. Create a nautical display with the cucumber shrimp boat. Now, this is very easy to make because all you want to do is cut a slice right off of the bottom. Besides stability, we'll use the bottom piece for a rudder. Now, when we make that rudder, cut its on angles. Let's go across and across again. And we'll make this fit. Yes. Now, cucumber, and just cut straight across. Now, this is going to be the sail for it. Take it and just bend this up very so carefully. Okay? Don't let that crack. Take a skewer, place it right in. There we go. Now, we want to hollow out the inside. We can use the food decorator. Use that, the other end, and just go right through here and take the center section out. Now, there's a couple different things you could do with this. You can put a dip in here, or we can fill it with shrimp. I like the shrimp. Now, this hollows out the center. Now, to put the rudder in, just put a little mark, little groove. Place that rudder in there. Now, you could take a piece of toothpick, put that in first, hook that on. We want to keep that guy in control. Take your nice shrimp, place it right inside. There we go. Fill this guy up. Now, you want to put a little flag on the top. Now, I like to make the flag with just a piece of a carrot. Let's say he's going in, we'll just put him on like this. There he goes. And there he is. Now, you can see how easy and simple it is to make. You can put this out, put some sauce out, and there's our cucumber shrimp boat. When you're having your next dinner party, why go out and spend $20 or $30 for a floral bouquet? Go to the supermarket. Get a few vegetables. You can make this up ahead of time. Put this in the refrigerator. It lasts quite a while. You can make this with different kind of bases. This is a butternut squash that we're using right now. You can use an eggplant for a base. We use leeks. In the background, this is German status. You can use baby breath. You can use a couple twigs from the garden. But let me show you how we put that together. Now, if you notice, there's leeks over there. You go to the supermarket, and when you get your leeks from the supermarket, they're usually cropped. So take a paring knife and just cut these off on an angle. Go all the way around. Now that becomes the background foliage. Now to make the flower, give yourself around an inch or so. That becomes the flower. Now cut the root off, but leave the root end on. Now scallions and onions they're all made in layers. So what you want to do is take that paring knife and just go in halfway and just cut across. So what you're doing is you're cutting the width of the petals all through the layers. Go all the way around. You can make some of the petals large. You can make a couple of these with the petals close together. Take a toothpick, place it right in the center. Push it all the way in. Just open that up. Now, if you like, you can take a carrot and a baller. Just cut a little ball. Place that right in the center. And that creates your flower. Now, you do want to give it a little bit of color. Now, this is some red food coloring. Take it and just put that in just on the edges. And there's your flower. Take that, place it in like so. And the centerpiece could be made early in the morning. Put it in the refrigerator. Place it on the table just before your guests arrive. They may not remember what you served them for dinner, but they'll always remember that centerpiece. Let me create some of the garnishes from our party scene. Now we have a little apple cup, and we create this apple cup by using the garnishing blade and just go on the outside. Put that waffle cut. Give it that extra flair. Now take the food decorator and just go in on an angle. Just push it in, pull it out, go all the way around. You just have to go halfway in. You don't have to push it in too far. Just be careful. Take it, just open it up. Now, you can use the handle from the food decorator to create the cup. Open that all up. Now, you can fill this with jams or jellies. For the holidays, like Thanksgiving, you fill it with cranberry sauce, and you put one on each plate. And if you look over here, here's an apple cup that we created. We created this. We have a little bit of applesauce inside. Here's a cup that we have some jelly, jams, jellies. You can garnish it up with a little cherry. But let's just move right along and make a couple more of these animals from our scene. Let's make that lemon pig. Now that lemon pig is always the kids love it. Take a nice large lemon, open up, there's the mouth. Here's the ears. One on one side, that's how the ears go. One on the other side. Now we want to give them some eyes. Let's get a little something started. I like to use some cloves for eyes. Come in like that. And we all know pigs have curly tails. So use the zester section of your decorator. Just be careful not to break it. And you can take that, twist it around, tie it in a pig's knot. Now just take a few toothpicks. And that's your feet. can open up that mouth. There he is. Give him some stable legs. And there's your lemon pig. And we'll start creating the scene. We're going to make Chubby Cheesy, a little mouse. Now, do this with a brown pear. Take 2 slices right off the bottom. The stem that came off, that's going to be our tail. A couple cloves, that's the eyes. And we all know little mice have whiskers. So take a couple toothpicks, break them apart, put those whiskers in there. There it goes. Starting to look like a little mouse now. Now, we want to make some ears, and that's where the 2 pieces come from. It came right out of the bottom. It's going to be your ears. Make 2 round pieces. And what we're going to do is take some toothpicks, put it right in there. That'll support the ears. It's nice when you have a cheese platter. You can put them right on there. Now you want to give him some height. So use a potato for a base, a couple toothpicks, put some greens on there. Put them on top. And there he is. Isn't he pretty? The next animal in our party scene is the elephant. Now that's done with an orange. Take that sharp paring knife and just cut a Y right into the front of the orange. Lift up his trunk. Now I like to take a toothpick, place it right underneath, turn it around, create the tail, lift that up a little bit. Now, to make the ears, cut a big C. Put that knife underneath it, just lift it up gently. Do the same thing on the other side. And lift that up. Open it up. Now you want to make some eyes. I like to use gum drops for eyes. For the feet, couple gumdrops. You could use marshmallows for feet. Create different effects. And there's your little elephant. Now, this is going to be, you can use this for a party scene. So take a little birthday candle, put it on the top, and we'll put it out there for a birthday scene. You can make a parade out of your elephants. Use an orange, use a grapefruit. The kids will love little scenes like this. And they'll really appreciate it when you make things like that. Now let's create that silly goose. He's a favorite of everyone's. Now we create that with just a butternut, not a butternut squash, but a summer squash. Or you might call this a crooked neck squash. Cut a piece from the bottom, this gives a little bit of stability. Now, to make his beak, take a carrot. Let's cut this just a little, on a little angle. We can make that a little smaller. We're going to have a nice small guy over here. And this becomes his beak. Just place that on. Take a toothpick and push it right through. This will anchor it in. Now you might want to cut that off with a little pair of pliers. And there's his beak. Take the paring knife. Open it up. This way he opens up his mouth a little bit. Now he needs some eyes. Use some cloves for eyes. Place it right in position. Now he does need some wings. Take the paring knife, just cut a little piece right off the side. That's one wing. And there's the other wing. Okay, so it's going to get placed in just like this. Take the paring knife and just cut some V's right inside, just like that. Take a toothpick, place it in here. Another one right next to it. Attach one wing. Do the same thing with the other side. Just put a couple wings in there as his feathers coming down. A couple toothpicks. Toothpicks hold everything together. Put that on like that. And that makes a silly goose. But instead of using that beak, sometimes you find them that the stem is still on. So let's make one just a little bit different. Leave the stem on and just cut right in there. Let that become his beak. Now you can take some cloves, use that for the eyes. Now you can use cloves, peppercorns, some things that you make, you can use seeds from whatever vegetable you're using. This we can make nice long wings. You can place the wings in different directions. Let's see. This guy's facing that way. We'll just put him like this. Make him a little bit different. Make a whole parade of animals. Have that birthday scene. The kids will have lots of fun with all these animals. A couple toothpicks in there. You can make feet with carrots. In our book, we show you the little silly goose out of a summer squash. We use some carrots to make some feet. A couple toothpicks in here. We can have him sticking his arm up like that. And take this, put this right in that birthday scene. And there he is, a little squash. And just think all the fun you'll have just creating scenes like that. You can even have the children help you with them. And finally, my favorite, the apple bird. Now this garnish happens to be one of the easiest, simplest, and matter of fact, it happens to be one of the most elegant. Now the knife that I like to use is a steak knife. Nice serrated edge. Take it and cut around a third right off of the apple. This will give you a nice flat base to work from. Take that knife and just cut a V. Now if you can cut a V like that, you can make the apple bird. Because right next to that V, you make another V. It's the same step over and over again. Now, as you make these feathers, take that knife and just use a nice, easy sawing motion. Take it, do the other side. Now try to keep all these feathers in line. Don't get them mixed up. Now if any of these pieces break, don't get excited. Everything will just fit right back together again. Just keep making your V's. If you have a large apple, you can make a lot of V's. Small apple, just make a few V's. Now this is our last cut. Take that piece and just slide it back. Right where these pieces came out, put them back in. Just shift it down a bit. The secret to the apple bird? The moisture from the apple holds everything together. It really isn't as delicate as it appears. Now, any of these pieces break on you, don't get excited and don't go eating your mistakes yet, because everything just fits right back in. Apples do come in different colors. So this way you have yellow apples, red apples, green apples. These are always nice to use on your cheese platters or your cucumber trays. Now I showed you how to make the body and the wings. The slice that we cut off right in the beginning, cut a slice right out of the center. Cut a V in the front. Now leave some meat up top and just follow the contour all the way around. Now for an eye, I like to use a peppercorn, a clove, or even a seed from the apple. Take a toothpick. Place it right in the front. Slide that down. Isn't that beautiful? Now let's give that apple bird some height. Use a potato for a base. A couple toothpicks. Put some greens on there for camouflage. Put that bird in a dive bomb position, and when you make garnishes like that, not only will you get compliments, but it will be a conversation piece. Now everyone knows apples, as soon as you cut them, they do start to turn dark. Use some lemon juice, straight out, don't dilute it, and just spray it over the whole apple. You can make this up earlier in the evening. It'll stay nice and white with no trouble all night long. I hope you've enjoyed this experience in garnishing. As you look through the video, you realize it really isn't that difficult to make all these garnishes. At your next dinner party, your friends will enjoy all your cooking, but they'll also experience something new. All your new garnishes that you've learned to create. And remember, what's pleasing to the eye is pleasing to the palate.
We hope that you've enjoyed How to Garnish. Remember that the video and book were created to work together with the special garnishing tools. Also available from international culinary consultants are melon garnishing, apple garnishing, and the garnishing and decorating book. Happy garnishing!